Hi, this is James. I work for ITacademy.in, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate to you another new feature of ASP.NET 4.0 that is called as Enable Persisted Selection. So let's see how do we demonstrate this property using Visual Studios. So I'm going back to the same old website what I have used in the last video, and I'm trying to create a new web page, and I'm going to call this as Enable Persisted Selection demo.aspx, and I say OK. So I can demonstrate this property with by binding our grid view to one of our sample table. So let's go back to the toolbox and try to drag and drop a SQL data source, and of course I have a grid view with me here. And you can see in SQL Server I'm ready with a small table called as user details. So I've got a couple of records as well in this table. So what's my plan? I'm going to show these records in a grid view. So let me configure this data source by speaking it to the right database. I click on new connection. I'm connecting to my database called as new CNV for the time being. The connection has been succeeded, so you okay. Say next, say next. And the table that I wish to use is user details, and I would like to see all the data. Say next. We can test our query and we can say finish. Now I simply connect my grid view to this SQL data source 1, and I'm enabling, so we try to enable the paging. Of course I have the selection, and then in the auto format we have some styles. Now what I would like to do, you can see here we have enabled the paging. So as of now in the table we have around 7 records. So I'm trying to reduce the page size to something like, say, 3 records per page. Now we have not touched that enable persisted selection property yet, so we are running it without touching upon that new feature. So what's so special in general in up to ASP.NET 3.5, when we click on a specific record in a grid view, and then when I go to the next page, interestingly the second record in the second page is automatically being selected. And similarly when I go to the third page, of course I do not have the record, so that's okay, but when I come back to my second page and when I come back to my first page, you can see this record in every page got selected by default, which is not what we are looking for. And that is where Microsoft has come up with this new property in .NET 4.0, wherein the grid view will retain only, or will persist only, the selection that you click on a specific page. So to get this done, it's a pretty simple implementation. In the properties of the grid view, we have a property called as Enable Persisted Selection. So I will simply say Enable Persisted Selection as true, and now if I test this page, so before I do that, let me ensure that I've got a primary key with me in my table. Okay, I haven't done that. So anyway, so I'm making my user ID as a primary key. In the meanwhile, I will specify my user ID as the primary key as a data key name. If I would have done that before this error, we would not have got. Anyway, let's go on and try to run this. Now I click on the second record in the first page, and when I go to the second page, you can see no record has been selected, and of course in the third page, and still when I come back to my first page, that record is still selected. So that's how enable persisted selection is a new property in ASP.NET 4.0 wherein it persists the row selection that you have done in a specific page. So unlike earlier, when I switched to the earlier versions, like when we switch to the other pages, we still used to see that specific row is being selected. And this is being resolved in ASP.NET 4.0 without writing a lot of code. So that's it. So in the next video, we'll pick up a few more new features. Thanks for watching. And if you wish to buy the full-length videos, please visit itacademy.in and write to us and we'll assist you with that. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.